Hey, 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 welcome to another edition of the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. I am Cynthia Conte, and as you can see, I'm by myself at the Brown Table Talk, but Giandra LaBeouf has also joined me, but via Zoom, because she's at home sick. But it's all right, she's still here.
Hi, you guys. I could not miss out. Today is a great day. I feel like hot basura, but I had to get up out of my deathbed for our guest today. We are so excited to talk to this beautiful, talented, hard-hitting, badass woman. So let's go ahead and bring her in. Let's bring in Ebanie Bridges.
Ooh. Hey guys. Hey girls.
She finally responded to my DM. I'm like, I even tweeted him like, I'm sliding in your DMs, Ebanie.
I think I said slide on in or something. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I mean, I miss so much. It's if it doesn't go in my thing. So as you can imagine, the many requests and some of the weird stuff I get, I'm just like, oh. And yeah, sometimes people get lost in between. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to see you guys, and I'm on here now. So.
No, thank you for taking the time out to join us. We know that you just moved. I mean, you put it out there that you finally moved from down under to the UK. We were kind of wondering, it's so bright out there. It looks like it's afternoon, but it's 9 p.m. there right now.
Yeah, it's like just like 10 past 9. Yeah, it's quite strange for me as well. I've got a skylight up there. It's just like full beaming in. It doesn't really get dark until like 10:30. And I'm a night runner. Like I like running at night. And so it's like I'm going to have to get used to running in the day because I'm not going for a run at like 11 o'clock. So, yeah, it's getting an adjusting. But, hey, I'm sure it would be able to make the most of it.
Oh, thank you.
So tell us about your move. You know, you're having a wonderful career. Your progression has been going up and up and up. And now you move from a very far land down under to England. Why was this the best move at the best time for you?
Yeah, look, it just got to a point where, you know, I've been traveling back and forth to Australia for the last couple of years between, you know, America, UK and Australia. And my last camp for my world title fight was the first time I actually hadn't traveled between like 2-3 different countries and time zones for a camp. And I found a camp here in the UK, a trainer that I really liked. And I was the first camp where I was actually settled for 8 to 9 weeks, you know, not country hopping. And I just felt so good. And, you know, for me, there's so many opportunities here. All my sponsors are here. Obviously my promoter's here. And, you know, I've got just such a huge fan base here. And it just makes sense for me to be here in the UK because going back home, obviously that's when I'm leaving there, after every fight, I'm having to travel back to Australia just because it's my home and you got to go back. And for me, it just stops my momentum, you know, like I want to stay in the gym and continue to train, continue to learn, keep the flow going with my, you know, obviously my business as well, with the brand building, with like other jobs that I've got going and things that I'm doing on the side, which is all here in the UK. It was obviously a very hard decision for me because, you know, moving across the world away from my family. And I actually had to split with my boyfriend of 10 years, which is really, yeah.
I was going to
talk about too much because I'll get really upset. I'm actually getting emotional, but I did cry like my whole way here because it's just, you know what, it was like a choice. I had to make a choice really between love and my dreams. And it was probably the hardest choice I've ever had to make. And it's just very unfortunate that my partner, he's got a beautiful life over there and he's got a beautiful job and his family's amazing. He's very close to them all and everything over there is perfect for him and everything over here is perfect for me. And we're just like this, you know. So, I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't going to give up my dreams and my possibilities and what I believe my destiny for someone else, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say for love, but I would say for someone else. And I wouldn't have expected him to do that for me. So here we are. He was very supportive. I was very blessed and very lucky that he just understands. He knows me, knows I'm very goal-driven, very dream-driven and very different to him, to be fair. And I'm happy to go and just be away from my family and everything like that. And so, you know, the best thing to do, because we love each other, is just support each other and that's it. So, you know, and I'm not going to do a long-term relationship because I think it's better that we both find someone hopefully eventually that fits into our lives, and he has someone that's there for him, wants to be there with him and his family and do all his stuff, and vice versa. So, everything happens for a reason, and you make these sacrifices that are very hard. And I've made many sacrifices through my life, and this is probably one of the biggest, obviously. Not just him, but my whole country and my family. My mom and my twin brother and everything. It's been really hard, but it just gives me more motivation and more drive to make sure that my dreams do come true, and it is all for a reason. It's just fuel. It's a lot of fuel there for someone that might not have made as much sacrifice. They're not as driven, but I was driven before, and now I'm even more fucking driven. Like now I'm fucking unstoppable. Right. So, you know what I mean? So, it's just all fuel for me for my goals.
I think that's understandable because if you were moving to the UK just to move to the UK, that's a whole different story. But
exactly,
he's always supported you, and I remember you've always. It's never really spoken about in social media about your partner.
Yeah.
But the little that has been said is that he's been very, very supportive, especially because we know that you're in the UK majority of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. Yeah, extremely, extremely supportive. And it's just it's just like. You can't expect someone to come over here for me, and then he doesn't have a job here, he doesn't have family here, he doesn't have friends here, and what's he going to do, sit around by himself, like, in the garden, like, while I'm out busy doing my thing. It's just not fair, and we both understand that, and, I'm lucky that we're both how we are, because it was 10 years, it's a long time, and we both believe, we're both in the same mindset that everything happens for a reason. And if it was meant to be, it would be. And maybe, who knows, it might come something later. But right now I'm going to be focusing on my career because that's why I moved over here. So
that's beautiful.
So what do you think this next chapter is going to look like? Sometimes companions, making sacrifice for dreams, it frees up a lot of mental space and physical space to be in full pursuit. So what do you think this next chapter is going to look like?
Yeah, definitely. You know what? To be able to not have to think about home and anyone like, oh, I better go do this for them, and I better go back home because I better go see this person. And even my family, like my mom's pretty upset, obviously, but like she had this thing where she's like, oh, you're just going to disown us all. I'm like, mate, they're still my family. Like I got to do what I got to do. Like chill out. Like it was like I was just leaving and that's it. Like I'm dead now or something. Like she weren't really dramatic about it, but she's okay now, kind of. But look, it's just for me. I'm always like in camp. My last camp in particular was the first camp that I just literally blocked out everything from home. My boyfriend, my family. I didn't talk to anyone for like nearly 8 weeks because I just felt it was my world title fight and I had one fucking shot. And I just knew that I had to do absolutely everything possible in that camp to make sure that I came out as a winner. And for me, that was preserving my energy, not giving it out, not feeling like I need to do anything or I have to, I don't know what the word is, but like a commitment to be doing something when I'm not feeling like it, like my mum would message me and I would just say no. And then like she messaged me again. I'm like, look, mum, I'm so sorry, but I'm not thinking about anything. I don't miss you. I'm not thinking about home. I'm sorry, but all I'm thinking about is becoming a world champion. And unfortunately that means that, I just got to cut it all out. And that's just the kind of person I am. And I come back when it's done, but it's just how I am. So now, I'm going to just be like that, and it's going to be good here. Just focus on my career, focus on my boxing, my gym. Don't have to like think about no one, don't have to cook for no one, don't have to do nothing, just all me, which is going to be even better than it was before. So I just believe, hopefully another fight in the summer, at the end of the summer, and another one at the end of the year. And I look to be, unifying all next year.
Oh, well, you did talk about unifying because we did have someone on the show, Jamie Mitchell, who also has one of the belts. Some people have to build their name because you built your name. Literally, I remember watching you during pandemic on Instagram hitting tires in your basement in Australia. I remember this. I'm like, who is this girl? And I said, she got big boobs, she got blonde hair, she can bang. And that's awesome. And you just made your pro debut in 2019. The pandemic hit in 2020, so it was all for themselves. And you were one of the very few that did everything on social media to be noticed. And eventually you put your name on a bill here in the UK for Matchroom. And now look at you. You're a freaking world champion. You are a fucking world champion, girl.
Yeah, look, it's a fucking story. Like, I mean, not many people know much about previous Twitter, I should say, because I only just joined Twitter, and that's when I started to get really noticed. But yeah, I mean, and doing all the interviews with all the British people and all the British channels and stuff, and just making the most of 2020 when we were in COVID, because I fought in Indiana at the beginning of 2020 when it was just starting to come into COVID, and I just come back from, you know, the whole year of an injury in 2019, and I wanted to keep the ball rolling, and then that happened, and I was like, well, I can't just sit back and do nothing. So yeah, I would be up at like 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. doing interviews, because obviously I'm in Australia and I'm having to work off the, you know, British time zones and American time zones to do interviews with people. And I was just doing them with anyone I could, really, just to keep pushing out my personality and who I am and my story, because I couldn't fight. So I had to get people to fall in love with me rather than my boxing. And that's exactly what happened. And I just had a bunch of fans of, I suppose, Ebony Bridges or the Blonde Bomber, and they all just wanted to see me fight. And I mean, I put up little things, but I was never really needing to prove myself, put up sparring or anything like that. All my fights I never did, because I knew once I just had the fight, then that's when I would shock the world. And obviously the Courtenay fight was my first fight in the UK, my christening or my welcoming to the UK, and I think I did shock the world. And
yeah, you did.
And a year later, shocked the world again by beating the longest reigning champion in my division. So, and I'll keep shocking the world, because I'll keep doing the shit that people don't expect me to do, you know. And I've always done that my whole life, and I'm all about that shock value. So yeah, I mean, the people that believe me and the people that back me won't be shocked, but I'll just keep shocking the others.
Do you feel like now that people are giving you more respect? When you first emerged on the scene, people had these preconceived notions of who they thought you were. But now that you keep going, winning and winning, and now that you're the Bantamweight champion, is the respect level changing for you? Do you feel?
Yeah, definitely within the boxing world, and you know, the pundits and stuff like that, because they can see, you can't deny me. You can't say that I can't fight. Not only can I fight, I'm fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and in and out of the ring. So you can't deny me of that. And if you do, you're just a fucking hater, and or you don't know shit about boxing. And those people I don't give a fuck about anyway. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but
no, you can totally.
Oh, that's a grown show. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I have, as a world champion, obviously, again, turned a lot of doubters into believers, because there's still obviously doubt, and you know, but again, I've gained a whole bunch of more haters and more people that just hate that you're successful, you know what I mean? But they're never gonna like you, and they're never gonna they're never gonna support you no matter what. So I'm not really fussed about them. Like, look at Mayweather, literally like one of the best boxers in history, and he still has haters, you know. I mean, all of them, you know, you got people talking shit about Tyson, even like he has shit footwork, this and that, but it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to have someone talk shit. So as long as I'm collecting the you know, the following and the support as well, and keep turning real boxing fans and real critics, then yeah, I'm happy. And obviously inspiring other women, you know, and I believe I have inspired many women. I see it on social media, you know. I took all the bullets and I took all the hate for over a year, 2 years, because of my femininity and because I embrace it, and a lot of disbelief, and no one else was doing it really, and now they are, and they're not getting anything. Everyone is just like, oh yeah, there's another girl in lingerie, or there's another girl being sexy. It doesn't matter, but that's because I know you. If you've been following me, Cynthia, you would know, like, you would have seen the hate and trolling and how much I got before I was able to prove myself, and now no one questions it. I feel like I've really normalized, and I'm so happy that it's happened, because that was my goal from the start. If you remember my Shannon Courtenay press conference, you know, I was always just pushing it, you know, be real, femininity. Why can't we be sexy? Why can't we be feminine? Why can't we just do what we want to do and wear what we want to wear? Like, it's shouldn't be a judge of whether or not I take the sport seriously or not. It's very obvious that I take the sport very seriously, more than most people, you know. You hear my trainer, Mark Tibbs, in numerous interviews say that I'm the most professional fighter or athlete he's ever trained, and he's trained world champions, Dylan White, Billy Joe Saunders, and a lot of other, you know, big names. throughout his career. So, you can't question that at all.
I totally believe every move of yours has been very, very calculated. You are a very smart woman. For people who don't even know, when I was reading about you, you have a bachelor's in math. You have a minor in physical education. You have a master's degree in teaching. So you're not this dumb blonde bimbo that many people think that you are. Just because you got big boobs, you got blonde hair.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. So when you step on the scale in a piece of lingerie, a two-piece lingerie, yes, she has a banging body. Yes, she's got big old boobs. Who cares? What's the difference between a bikini and lingerie?
You know what? I don't know the difference is, man. I really don't know what the difference is. Maybe because I fill out my lingerie.
Yes.
Maybe if I didn't have, maybe if I didn't have, bolt-ons, like implants, whatever we call them bolt-ons. Maybe if I didn't have big bolt-ons, then I might be a little bit different. Or maybe, do you know what it is as well? It's a stage. I call it stage presence, obviously, because I'm a bodybuilder. So it's the presence that I have when I'm on those scales. I don't just walk on all shy and just go like this. Like, I don't do that.
Pose.
I pose like a bodybuilder, like a fitness model, because that's what I did for 10 years. You know what I mean? And I was a ring girl, card girl for 10 years. So I've always known how to work a room and work a stage. And when I'm half naked, because I've done it for so many years. And I really enjoy those cute little turns and my little transitions and poses. And I think I just bring a bit of spice and a bit of sexy to it. And why not? I mean, it's fun for me, and it kind of brings me back to my old bodybuilding days. And that's the difference, I think, is it's not just what I'm wearing, it's the vibe that I give off, because I'm so confident in myself and so confident in just, being me, and I'm showing off the hard ass work body that I've been dieting and training for 10 weeks. I don't walk around like that. Man, if I walked around like that, you'd probably see me in like bikini every single day. But,
I'd be walking around naked.
Literally. But,
I know I would.
Unfortunately for me, it's only look that mad, like, as looking where I want to show it off for a little shorter time. So I make the most of it and I bloody work it. And in a way, it's good in a way, because probably if I did look like that all the time, people would not get sick of my body, but I mean, it might be like just too much. In a way, it's good because I just save it all for the weigh-ins, and it's my little treat, that I do on the weigh-in day. I'm not really, I'm quite conservative most of the time, to be fair. Like, I like turtlenecks and I like to dress nice and classy most of the time. If I'm going out, it's a hot day. If I'm going out, I can't hide my fucking boobs. But I mean, I'm not like an I'm not like an 18-year-old that I just need to have like my boobs out constantly all the time. You know what I mean? But so it's nice to be able to just like have that little day where I'm able to show it off and whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's all part of the bomber. It's all part of Blonde Bomber. And I mean, there's many branches to me. And yeah, I mean, I'm only 35. So I'm sure I'll grow a lot more branches and I'll have a lot more things about me in another 10 years.
Let's talk about your Courtenay fight, because that was that was the fight that, like you said, it really showed and proved to the fans, to the boxing world, who you really, really were. Like, you could take a punch. Both you and Shannon really threw down. I personally thought you won the fight.
Yeah.
But for your eyeball was so swollen. Yeah. I could you see out of that eye at all?
No.
How did you fight with one eye?
Got a pretty big fucking heart.
Yeah. But
because I'm a fighter, and no matter what, I don't quit. And I didn't give a fuck. I just, I was brought up in my boxing from when I first started boxing that you can't show weakness. If you're hurt, you can't show it. If anything, you just got to hide your emotions. You got to hide your pain. You got to hide it all, because as soon as you show a bit of weakness or a bit of pain, it's fuel for your opponent, just like it would be for me. If I saw my opponent weakened or hurt, then it would just turn me into another beast. So you just got to keep on doing what you're doing and stay focused. What could I do about it? Nothing. So I just continued with a smile.
Yes.
I love this shit.
And then following that fight, you go on to have 3 consecutive wins, and the momentum just keeps going and going and going. How often do you want to fight per year? What would be ideal now that you've made the move and that travel and that delay time has been taken away? What would be the ideal scenario for you?
love to fight like 3 to 4 times a year. The only problem that I'm having at the moment is because I broke my hand in the gangle off fight, busted it really bad. Now I have issues with my hand, and even after my last fight, it took about 6 to 7 weeks to recover my hand. And now I've got a doctor or a surgeon that I'm seeing, and he's given me this like plate that I wear on my hand in training to stop the pain and help the pain. But obviously I can't wear that in a fight. But then when I'm in a fight, I just got to use it and deal with it afterwards. So I'm hoping my next fight, maybe I don't blow it up as much as I did my last one. But that's all the thing. That's the only thing that really holds me back. That's going to hold me back is just that from how fast it takes me to recover and start punching again. And I'm not really keen on having a surgery. I could have a surgery, but it will put me out for 6 to 8 months. And in my eyes, I don't really have that time to take out. I'm older, and just want to keep it going. I know I can still work on things without my hand in training. I just can't punch, so it just might make my camps a little bit longer, if that makes sense. Yeah. But who knows? I mean, I'm fingers crossed. My next fight, I just knock him out with my left hand, and then we're good to go again in another month. You know what I mean? And we're good. So yeah, we're all working on it. Mark Tibbs is an incredible trainer. It's the best thing I've done. And obviously having Kaylee and Brian, they come over and be in my corner. I wouldn't have a fight without them in my corner, even because they're like my mum, dad, and I love having them in my corner. And I have the three of them is just a perfect team. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Because I know since with Mark Tibbs that you've been working with him, that you've been really working on the jab. Your ring IQ is incredible, and we've seen it. I've seen it. I don't know if Jander's noticed it, but I've seen it in the ring from your fights that it's a little different. Because I know you just like to go bang. Yeah. I know you're going for that knockout, but now yeah. you obviously have to fight smarter now, especially with your hand.
Exactly. Yeah.
With Mark knowing that, does he when he notices you're going to start throwing that right hand, does he say you need to lay off, you need to calm down?
No, I mean, look, I literally couldn't throw my right hand for about 4 months, 20 weeks. That's almost 5 months. It was about 4.5 months. I couldn't throw my right hand after the Gangloff fight. So that's 4.5 months of just using my left hand. So, I mean, it got stronger. My left hand got stronger. It got trained muscle memory. So now I just automatically throw it. And obviously having someone like Mark Tibbs, who's all about the jab, but also he's very good at teaching the jab, and these kind of tactics kind of helped as well. And there was points, especially at the beginning of my sparring and training, because I hadn't thrown my right hand for so long. It was a bit wild, so he was like, just don't throw it. Like, just, throw it. Or if you're going to throw it, it has to be straight, and he used to really get up me about it to pull away from the overhands and like just setting it all up, using the jab to set everything up, obviously. And my left hand used to be my weak hand because I had so many injuries. I was supposed to have surgery on my left elbow. I've had about seven or 8 cortisone shots in my elbow, and every camp I have cortisone shots in my elbow, in my left elbow, because of the wear and tear in my elbow. There's everything that's wrong with it. But somehow it's just been really good, knock on wood. Lately, my last camp, I didn't have any issues with the left hand, so the left elbow. So if that can continue, then, I mean, we can continue with my left hand and my right hand, and we're good. But, I mean, yeah, obviously training, fighting smarter and just evolving as a fighter. I've only been boxing for 5.5 years. I had my first amateur fight 5.5 years ago, and I'm a fast learner. So every fight I have, I learn, and every training camp and every day I'm in there learning, and I'm like a sponge. And so, I'm only going to get better, because I'm not like a fighter that's been fighting 15 years or 10 years and have all these habits. I'm still learning everything. So, when it all comes together, like, it's just going to get better. And I know every fight's going to be better. Mm-hmm. I only had 8 weeks with Mark, and I did that. I learned a lot with Mark. So I know now, being here and with him, training with him all the time, I'm just going to get this like fucking amazing. I'm going to be undisputed.
Ooh.
When you look back at that fight, if you've watched it any number of times, what did you, from the outside looking in, enjoy about that fight?
fucking just loved. I got to sit and punch. Like, I mean, because I like that. That was literally my bread and butter. Mark didn't, like, he taught me a little bit of that, of course, you know, but really that's my natural fight style. Is to sit and go toe to toe, and that's why it was so easy for me, because when something's natural for you and you're not thinking and you're just flowing because it's natural, it's easy. I wasn't really getting tired. I was just letting it all. My body was just flowing how it would, because it's a natural fight style for me. And I just loved it. I honestly, like, to be able to just sit there and like go body head, like up and down, and be able to like then shift to the other side and do it. And that's hard to do when you got someone that's a runner or someone that's trying to outbox you and you're always moving. You know, and obviously most people box me like that because they don't want to do and sit in there because they know that I'm good on the inside. They don't want to sit and cop that. And I don't think anyone ever will again, unfortunately, because obviously I love that kind of fight. But I have a feeling everyone's going to be like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to box and move, Ebanie. But I was prepared for that kind of fight as well. And Mark taught me a lot about cutting off and slowing down a mover. So if I get a mover in front of me, I'm very positive and capable of breaking them down too. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've just got pretty much I've got all the tools in my toolbox, and now it's just just sharpening them, and every camp, every day sharpening them.
You were not able to go to the Taylor versus Serrano because you were doing, it was your dad's birthday, I believe. I remember.
Yeah, I went home. Yeah.
So that was a mega fight, obviously, for women's boxing. Now, when you saw a fight like that, tell me you didn't cry, girl, because Giandra and I were crying.
Yeah. No, honestly, I didn't cry, but I got quite emotional. Like, I could feel it in my chest, and my eyes blurry watered a little bit. And, you know, I haven't been around I've been a boxing fan since I was little, but I haven't been myself boxing for that long. So like only 5 years, 5.5 years. But it made me think about all the girls that have been boxing for so long, like your Kaylee Reeves, like your Heather Hardys, like your Serranos, you know, that have been around for a long time. And it made me think, wow, how special is this for them as well? You know, because if I feel this way and I've only been boxing for 5 years, imagine how these OGs feeling, you know, like to see that because of what all they've been through. Like, and then even the girls before that, like your Ann Wolfs and, you know, your Christy Martins and all them, like, you know, it's just a huge thing. And, you know, there was a lot of girls inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend that went by, which was pretty amazing. And to think that the Hall of Fame only even recognized women like in 2020 or something like this, it's fucking nuts, you know. So, you know, we've got to be very excited and happy for the progression that women's boxing is making. I know people still have a little bit of a whinge and a cry that it's not the same as the men, but we just got to be happy that it's progressing and it's actually progressing exponentially. If we really look at it and think about it, it's exponential. It's not just like slowly going. It's gone like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it was kind of, and now we're literally, you know, getting $1 million fights. Like it's, you know, it's really increased, and that's thanks to COVID, in my opinion.
Yeah. And
Eddie Hearn, obviously. But I mean, Eddie Hearn was putting the women's fights on during COVID. Like, that's when it really started to boost, probably because we're cheap. But not anymore.
Nope.
Not anymore.
You're free, but not cheap. You're free. You're available, but not cheap.
Yeah. I mean, we're not at, you know, when you don't have crowds, you can't be putting on some of them boys, Kenya, but the women. And we're exciting, and they got to show and build us. And it doesn't matter, like, you know, that was all part of it. It's the first step, just getting us on the platform. And now we can build the fans and we can start asking for the money. Yeah, I love it as well. Like, the backyard is beautiful. I'm very blessed and very lucky that, you know, all my hard work's paid off and I'm able to do what I'm doing. And, you know, I mean, I invested a lot in my career, which people don't realize, and spent a lot more money than a lot of people would have to get my career going. Most people would have quit a long time ago if they were in my shoes. But I persevered because I had a dream, and now I'm reaping awards of it. It just shows, you know, proves that if you persevere, you know, and you work hard, then you can achieve it.
Mm-hmm. I like what you're saying. Also, living your dreams, but living them on your own terms and being unapologetically yourself. And I respect that so tremendously about you. And what is very appalling to me is when people have commentary about how you appear, because everyone says women should be able to do whatever they want and be themselves until it's you, until it's a sexy woman. And I just don't understand that. So what type of messaging would you say about that kind of knife cutting both ways? Be yourself, except when it comes to Ebony Bridges, then I got to turn it down a little bit.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, it's like there's a lot of other women out there that are being sexy and being beautiful, and there have been in women's boxing, especially America. You know what I mean? There's been plenty like that. Marcela
Cornejo, the red bathing suit.
You know who I'm becoming? Yeah, she's beautiful. But she didn't cop it. You know, like no one, just a blonde fucking bomber cops it. You know, but it's just double standards with me. You know, and I don't know what it is, and to be honest, I don't really take much notice of it because look at me. I'm the one that's successful, and I'm the one that's, you know, paving a path for younger generations. When I do my meet and greets, you know, the amount of young girls that come and see me and they just look up to me and they want to be a little blonde bomber, you know, and that's why not, like, and I think it's great. And I think I'm a great ambassador, and I think I'm a great role model, you know, for what I believe in and what I push, because the world is full of too many people trying to pretending to be someone they're not and trying to impress other people by faking it, or, you know, being judged, or, you know, thinking that they can't be themselves because of society. But really, we're all out there and all we really want to do is be ourselves. But people, because of the way society is, people really struggle. And I just hate that. I just think that, like I said, my hashtag, you know, be you, be real, you know, and I just so believe in that. And in the end, I was myself. I did what I love to do. I did what's natural to me. I never faked nothing. I never tried to be nothing else. I said what I wanted to say, wore what I wanted to wear, did whatever. And, you know, and now I feel like I'm a bit of a pioneer in a way of this kind of era, of this kind of style of women's boxing. And I think that's a good thing, because I've just opened up more avenues, got more fans, got more, you know, younger people looking into it that might not have been into it. Like, you know, it's if I was to conform to what everyone said, especially at the beginning, and I sat there and I was like, God, they don't like me, or I shouldn't do this, and, you know, or maybe I should just go and do what everyone else is doing and wear the matching Calvin Klein underwear everyone wears. Like, here, there's a, you know, like, and just go and do what everyone else does and keep my mouth shut and be conservative and be institutionalized, because I might say something wrong and I might swear and people might judge me, and fuck that, man. I was like, mate, I can't fake it. I just can't, because even if I was to be that kind of person, I would have been fucking hating myself inside, and I would have been just wanting to explode. And eventually it would have came out and everyone would be like, whoa, who the fuck's this? You know, and I can't do that. And I think it's good, because I think I'm inspiring other female fighters. You know, I know my friends around me that I'm inspiring in the boxing industry, you know, that like embracing themselves as well, and just not scared to be themselves. And we shouldn't be, because boxing needs characters. If we're all the fucking same, you know, the amount of people when I started out were like, why can't you be more like Katie Taylor? You should look at Katie Taylor and that's how you should be, you know, because that's like, she's a good role model. I'm like, firstly, I'm not fucking Katie Taylor. I'm Ebanie fucking Bridges. All right. I'm the blonde bomber. Secondly, I'm not a 2-time or gold medalist, or I'm not that. I don't have what she has. Why should I be the same as her? Why do I have to be Katie Taylor to be successful in boxing? Why do I have to be Clarissa Shields to be successful in boxing? Why do other people have to be Ebanie Bridges to be successful in boxing? They don't. You just need to be yourself and find your thing and do you, and you will fucking be successful if you work hard and you got it. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. It's just that's how it is. You got to put yourself out there. And I don't want others to go, oh, that's what Ebanie does, so that's what I need to do, and that's because that's how you get famous and that's how you do. No, it's not. That's what worked for me, you know. But if you're not that person, it's going to come through real fast that you're not fucking very comfortable up there in a G-string. You know what I mean? Or that you're not comfortable doing this and saying that, like, you know. And I just it's just, mate, you just got to, I can't stress it enough. Just be yourself. And if you want to say that, say it. And I love that the girls are having a bit of cat fights and a bit of spite on the Twitter. I love Michaela May. She's one of my favorites. You know, there's none of this like bullshit. Let's be girly and like conservative because we're women. Fuck that. And that's what I love about Clarissa Shields, man. Clarissa Shields is one of my inspirations because she is unapologetically herself as well and continues to remain confident and believe in herself. Mate, she came into the boxing world when she was, I don't know what, like into the pros when she was like, what, 23 or something, like a kid, a baby, like, and she got that much hate, you know what I mean? But she never changed. She grew up, of course, she matured, you know what I mean, as you do, but she still was herself. And I always think, and I always looked back as well when I saw like me getting a bit trolled or whatever, I thought, man, look at this Clarissa Shields. And she was so young, like, and she's just so strong, man. And I know it does. We're all human. Like, it does hurt. But you got to just be confident enough in yourself and believe in yourself enough and be secure to push it all aside and go, you know what, these people don't know me. They don't know shit. They don't know what I've been through. They don't know my life. They don't know what I've done to get here or what's happened to me, you know. And I think that's really important that people don't. They got to understand these people online or these trolls or whatever. They don't know you, man. And who cares what someone who don't know you says about you? Mm-hmm. Fucking all that matters is what you feel about yourself, what you think of yourself, and the people close to you. I believe, you know, your family and your close friends. Like if your close friends are like, oh, you're a fuckwit, like pull your head in, then you're like, okay, yeah, fuck, probably shouldn't have done that, like because you trust the people close to you, right? But these people that don't know you, like you can't let them affect you because if you listen to these haters, you're never going to get nowhere. Never. You can't be successful by listening to the people that aren't there or aren't you know, don't know you, in my opinion. Anyways, that's welcome to my TED Talk.
Amen.
Amen.
Wait, I just want the term again. Is it fuckwit?
Fuckwit. Yeah.
I need to add that to my vocabulary because I like that.
We, you know, on the show, we always say agency over body. It's our body. We can do whatever we want. We don't tell you what to do, how to do it. And if you want to walk around naked, go for it. Just don't get arrested.
I mean, exactly. Like, we're not in the like 1920s or 30s anymore. It's just so, I don't know what the word is. My goodness, I don't know how to say the word because I'm a maths teacher, not an English person, but it starts with M and it has a Y in it. Anyways,
misogyny.
That's the one. Yeah. And like, you know, these people like is that the right word?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I'm like, I know the word. I just don't know how to say it. Yeah. And like, it's just so silly. It's just like we're constantly being told what we can and can't do or like, it's just ridiculous. And, you know, I know a lot of the girls have been doing like Heather Hardy, you know, she's one woman that's so inspiring as well and always pushing that women empowerment and really women strength from being who you are and you know, standing up for women, you know. And I mean, a lot of, you know, the Americans girls have been all sticking together for a long time and, you know, like pushing that. And now it's come global, you know, and I respect all of them. I respect all the girls before, all the girls that are with me and all the girls that will be in the future because we're all part in that and we're actually all in it together. Not really, unfortunately. It's nice to have the community that we have because, I mean, I think it's pretty good most of the time. And it's going to take a while before we all get really seen as individuals, if that makes sense, like the men. Because we still do represent each other when we jump in that ring and we fight. We still are, that's women's boxing, you know. So it's lucky that we are having some amazing fights and the fights that we're having are incredible for women's boxing. And we've got to keep doing those kind of fights. And then eventually it won't be like, oh, that's women's boxing. It's going to be like, oh, that's Ebanie Bridges or that's
boxing.
You know,
this is boxing.
That's boxing or, yeah, exactly. Like the men's boxing, like you're not like, oh, you don't see a bad performance in men's boxing, go, men's boxing shit. Like you just go, that person's shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so gonna get like that.
You did talk about some females that we have to get some predictions from you, or you don't have to give predictions. You can give a breakdown. Michaela Mayer versus Aliciabaumgardner for the unification bout.
This fight is so saucy. I swear to God. Like, I mean, look, both those girls, like, you know, I respect both those girls, both my friends. I am team Mayer on that. I mean, obviously I love Mayer as a person, but I just love how Michaela Mayer has evolved. I've watched her from the start and I've loved to watch her evolution and her every fight she has added another tool to her toolbox. and her coach Al and her whole team have really developed her so well. You know, given her the right fights to like just build and like get and not rushed her. You know what I mean? Which I find that they rush them a little bit here over in the UK. Like, but I feel like America is not smarter, but they do. Like, it's boxing. They're looking at it as in how you would, you know, just like you would build a male fighter. That's how they should do the female fighters in a way. Maybe slightly a little bit faster, but not too fast, you know? And so I feel like Michaela is fully equipped for anything that comes to her. As for Alicia, look, we've seen her knock out of Terry Harper. We've seen that she does have the power, you know, and she does have, you know, the experience. And her last fight, she looked very clinical. You know, she's got obviously the great balance and the great posture, but that's when she's controlling the fight. When she's in control, of course she looks amazing, you know, but we haven't really seen Alicia being pushed up on except for her fight with Christina Lindau. You know, obviously that was quite a while ago and she was still very fresh. And I feel like she's definitely evolved since then, but she hasn't had any fights where she's been really pressured, where we've seen Michaela in it, mate. We've seen her in a dog fight. We've seen her in a fight, like even against Helen, Joseph, like Hamadouche, you know, and we know she can box, you know, even in her earlier fights, she was boxing, so that's not an issue. And the power, yeah, she has a fucking chin. We know that, you know, so for me, I'm just seeing it's going to be Michaela. I feel like it's a Michaela points win. She has the work rate and the smarts to really just outwork Alicia. I think once she puts the pressure on Alicia, I'm not sure Alicia will be able to think as fast because she hasn't been put under that kind of pressure before. I mean, look, there's always a possibility that she could get a KO possibility, but that KO that she had over Terry Harper was very rare. It's not a KO that women get very often. It's not a fight it's not a KO you can kind of expect time after time. You don't see that. It was, you know, especially with the 2-minute rounds. So for her to pull that off again, you'd have to see, you know, like it would be, I just think Michaela will be way too conditioned for that kind of knockout and way too prepared. So, yeah, sorry.
No, it's a great breakdown. No, that's
yeah.
what we love. Because you
awesome.
Women know, you guys really break it down. I mean, some guys do too, but we like to hear the women. Yeah. And the other one before, God, our time already went by so fast. Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall.
Oof, this one's harder for me. It is harder. I always thought that Clarissa would win this fight, to be honest, just because I love Clarissa's style. And her last fight, she showed a lot more again. She showed the improvements with those body shots, you know, because she used to be a bit of just a headhunter, a bit of a straight puncher, but very good at what she does. She's very slick. She's got a beautiful timing, great footwork, and I think she's quite elusive. So she's actually hard to hit. But her last fight, you know, she was putting it in. But the 2-minute round's really hard, and she isn't super heavy-handed, but she can put them together. But then you got someone like Savannah who's like knocking these girls out. But when I look at the records, I look at Savannah, and as well as she's very good and she does have quite an awkward style and she is strong, and, you know, you can even tell her, you know, sparring partners and everything say she's very strong. But she is also fighting girls that coming in on week notice, 2 weeks notice. I know a lot of her fights have fallen through, and it's not her fault. She's just had to get replacement fights. And when anyone comes in with that short notice, they're not conditioned. They're much easier to get knocked out. I know what I feel like first 2 weeks of camp. You know, I feel like bloody a little flyweight could probably knock me out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just not feeling conditioned. So it's a lot easier to get knocked out when you don't have a full camp. And, you know, she's not fighting the elite fighters as Clarissa. Doesn't mean that she doesn't have it. But I just feel like it's a little bit harder to judge her completely when she hasn't had the quality of opponents that Clarissa has had. Every fight Clarissa's had, her opponents have had full camps. I'm pretty sure most of, like, maybe one hasn't. But they've all had full camps. There've been a lot of champions. They've all been, you know, the best in the division. Maybe it's been too good that she's made them made them look average, just like Katie Taylor did, just like Floyd Mayweather has done. Do you know what I mean? But I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head that Savannah's fought that has been a quality or an actual champion or had a really good camp, you know, or like high level. I mean, maybe Hannah Rankin has, you know, she's tough and she would have had a good camp, but then, you know, the skill levels is there. Well, she's a mad, like, just a fighter. where I just feel like Clarissa's been up against all different styles. Although Savannah is quite awkward, it would be pretty hard to prep for that kind of fight, I think. She reminds me a lot of the Furies, to be fair. She's very elusive as well. She kind of punches from all over the place, and you've got these long arms. So I do think towards Clarissa for a points decision. And the only way I think that Savannah wins is by knockout. And I don't know if she can knock out Clarissa, because she'll have to hit her pretty clean. And Clarissa's going to be very conditioned. So, we'll see. That one's this fight, this one in particular, the Savannah Marshall and the Clarissa fight, I need to see, because I'm really indecisive. I'm obviously edging. I'm like 55% Clarissa, 60% Clarissa, but it's still very tight. Where I think the Maya and Alicia one, I'm more sold on Maya.
Okay. Well, see,
and that's what I love about women's boxing at the moment, because women's boxing at the moment, you want to have these fights where we don't know who's going to win, because you want to watch them, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll make a confession, and I wasn't even really into women's boxing myself until a couple of years ago. I watched the boys, but I watched obviously Lucia Riker. I used to love the OGs, you know what I mean? But there was a period there of women's boxing where it was really hard to get a really good quality women's boxing fight, because the pool was not as deep, and so the fights were quite often mismatched. So you're going into it, as much as you love that fighter because you like to watch him, you still know who's going to win, So you don't get as excited, because you're like, it's kind of like, yeah, cool. It's like when you watch Canelo or a Mayweather, you go, oh, we're just going to go watch, he can just smash it, win. It's great. We love watching him, but we know he's going to win. But now, when the fact is, you can't, there really are some 50-50 fights, and it's really close fights. It's genuine. We don't know who could win. You obviously can put it together and break it down and think, yeah, this person's going to win. But now with this, I think that's what makes you really want to tune in and really want to watch it. Plus, obviously, there's so many other things, the promotion and the characters. But I can keep going, but I'm going to stop.
I love that. I love how you're breaking it down. See, that's what people need. No, but that's what people mean. We here at the show, we still get some comments on our socials like, why are women talking about boxing? Why are women talking about boxing? Because women know a lot about boxing, particularly women fighters like yourself. Before we close out, we have a segment called Talk Your Shit. So your camera is right in front of you since you're not in the studio with us. So go ahead for the next 30 seconds, look into your camera, Ebanie Bridges, and go ahead and talk your shit to whomever you think needs to hear it.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, look, thanks. I just want to say thanks, honestly, to all my supporters, really, because I do believe that if it wasn't for my supporters and my fans, then I wouldn't be where I am, because it's everyone calling my names and talking their shit about me that's got me where I am. And, now I'm having call-outs every weekend. I get a new call-out by a new fighter out of a new division. And it's great that, everyone's talking about the Blonde Bomber and that I'm always trending, and it's not really me. I'm not that heavy on socials anymore, because I've got a very busy life. So big shout out to all my fan supporters, all my haters, and all the girls calling me out. Keep calling my name, keep spreading my name. It's only going to build my brand even more. And just a big message to everyone and anyone that's struggling, with any hate or anything that they see online, and a feeling of doubt. Just remember, these people, they don't know you. They don't know shit. Be confident in yourself. Be you. Be real. And don't change for anyone unless it's for yourself. So, yeah, much love always from me.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Ebanie, man, we got to get you.
God.
Yeah,
come to Vegas.
We got to get you up in the studio with us.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Where are you guys?
In Las Vegas.
Are you the East Coast or West? Oh, Vegas. Oh, Vegas. Shit. Okay. Well, I plan to go to Vegas. But I'm a bit closer now. I don't know, about 17 hours away. But, yeah. A little bit closer now.
A lot, much closer. Sure. Before anything, there's two things I do want to ask you. I saw this on the internet. Is it true? Are you going to have an OnlyFans, or you can't have an OnlyFans because of your teaching? I read this. I swear this shit true? On the internet. Yeah. I was just like, I don't know. I'm like, let me just ask her.
Yeah, I did. No, I did do an article a while ago. Someone asked me about OnlyFans, and obviously not the only reason I'm not doing OnlyFans, but one of the biggest reasons I'm not going on OnlyFans to make millions, because I would. is obviously because, in Australia, I wanted to have the opportunity to go back to teaching because boxing's not that big in Australia. So if I was to reside back in Australia, I would eventually probably have to go back to teaching. So I didn't want to jeopardize my teaching career because I love teaching. But now that I've moved over here, I'm probably a bit too much of a name to teach over here in the UK, and there's so much more opportunities for me post boxing outside of teaching. Well, I still want to go into schools and inspire and do talks to kids, but probably not in the classroom. So who knows what the future holds for Ebanie and OnlyFans? But it's just right now it's not my focus. But I mean, it's definitely not out of the question. So yes.
And
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And there's one other thing that you can do, Talk Your Shit Part 2. I saw that you did. I saw you did tweet something about sponsorship. And, asking people if they want to be sponsors, you know, and it's the feedback that people gave. I could not believe it. Every boxer has a sponsor. I'm sorry.
I know, but it's me. It's because of me. It's because of me. It's just the double standards. It's like, why is Ebanie hustling? They must think I'm a fucking millionaire or something. Or they forget, like I even said in that post, I had to pay so much money. I paid 12 and a half grand in my first 3 fights, because I didn't have sponsors. I didn't have a platform. And, people forget, I wasn't even making money, and some girls don't even make money. Serrano probably wasn't making money until the last fight, really. She's probably still having to work PT or do some kind of job on the side. Look at Heather Hardy, you know what I mean? Always having to work and train in the gym and PT and stuff because we don't make money. So sponsors definitely help. And can't see why it's such an issue for me to use my platform to reach out. And I think that's where I'm an athlete. I'm a sports person. I would get a sponsor. A tennis player would get a sponsor. That's just what you do as an athlete. It's just, I don't know, normal people. It's like, oh, we have to work and are harder and money. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry, but you're not a fucking professional athlete. And people forget that a professional athlete, that's our job. We get our money from sponsors and from obviously our promoters, but that's how we make our money. We don't go and do 9 to 5. People forget, because those people who do work a 9 to 5, for them, a sport or the gym is a leisure. So it's like, well, you're just doing something that's fun. I wish I could get paid to go to the gym. Okay, well, become a fucking professional athlete. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's just ridiculous. It's so hard to explain it. But I didn't. I mean, the only reason I kind of tweeted a bit more to give a bit more background is because I think it needs to be said to some people. And I think saying that also shows that other people, this is why you need to support boxers in particular, but athletes in general. This is why your business needs or should support us, because if it wasn't for sponsors, I wouldn't be where I am. And, I know there's other guys out there that are starting out that need sponsors so they can become world champions one day, but it's the help of that to help be able to commit to it so we can do it. And I think it just wanted to educate people a little bit on the whole sponsor thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got a car, so fuck yous all. And I've got fucking everything else. So hard work pays off, and so does the hustle.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, man. This is so great. Giandro, God, we got to get you in the studio, Ebanie, the next time you're here. And eventually, whenever we make our trip to the UK, because we want to see you fight live.
That's
all we want.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully I have a fight in the US, because I do want to fight in the US again. So we'll be working on that. And if Jamie Mitchell doesn't beat, if Jamie Mitchell beats Shannon Courtenay, to be honest, I think she does, but I kind of don't want her to. I do want Shannon, even though I don't like her, I do want Shannon to win that belt back. So there's a reason for me to fight her. So I don't really want to fucking give her a shot at fucking belts. When she kind of, she's failed. She said to me that I don't take the sport seriously because I weigh in lingerie. Oh, Lord. She doesn't make weight. Who's making? Who doesn't take?
I remember that.
Did you? So Jamie,
I don't know.
Jamie disclosed to us that her father, or no, her boyfriend, or the baby's daddy, her son's father, passed away 2 days before her fight. No one knew this, and Shannon didn't want to fight if she had to pay, since she was overweight. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, but it doesn't fucking surprise me. She's a fucking idiot. God, she's an idiot. I mean, like, but I just want to beat the shit out of her. But I want to beat the shit out of her and get a belt. I don't want to beat the shit out of her for
Just to
nothing, give her a
beat the
payday.
shit.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because it gives her a payday. Like, without me, like, all she's got is Jamie, and then after she's been beaten by Jamie, she's got nothing except me. You know, and she's just a twat. Like, so look, I love Jamie. I think Jamie's a beautiful human. I think she deserves everything that she's got. She's worked so hard, and she's a great champion. And her last fight, what she did, amazing. And she's only going to get better. And you know, I want to fight them all. But it's just, I mean, I'll be happy with anything. But yeah, I just don't want to give the payday without the belt. But I do want to have that fight, and I think it's a fight that needs to happen for the fans. So because I'm a fan fighter. It will have to happen eventually, but yeah.
That's like that grudge match, Cal Brooks, America, like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have to wrap. I'm so sad, but again, Giandra, like I always say, this was a fantastic show, even though we're all via Zoom. But thank you, Ebony, for taking the time out. I know it's dark. We see it's dark, and it's time for you to either go do your road work or you're going to bed.
yeah. I'm going to bed. Been moving all day.
Well, Giandra, last thoughts? Anything?
You are a badass, and I cannot wait to see you fight again. Ebony, thank you for your time. And thank you, Cynthia, for being patient with me because, it's kind of rough over here. So I couldn't get on the plane today. And so thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Ebony. Again, make sure you guys follow her path, follow her career. Go sponsor her. She's a freaking badass, okay? And she can box. She backs it up in the ring. She's hot. She got big boobs. She got blondie. She got a nice body, and she can fuck you up, all right?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, all right. This is another one in the can for us. Again, thank you for watching the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe all of our videos right now that are on YouTube, and we are dropping even more fire content. So make sure you guys
Fire.
Giandra, I love you. I'll see you for the next show, and I hope you feel better, babe.
Thank you.
All right, guys, another one in the can. I'm Cynthia Courtenay for Best Women's
And I'm
Boxing
Giandra
Show. Oh, there you go. I don't even see you. There you are.
I'm out here.
There she is. All right, guys. Again, see you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.